Hello, everyone. How are you? And welcome to Tuesday's training. This is first Tuesday of the month of February. Where did January go? Right? Where did January go? And as you're coming on this live broadcast, I'd love for you to share in the comments below who is watching. Let me know. So today's begins a new month. As I said, we are in the month of February. And the month of February is all about, do you love your website, right? Do you love your website? And so it's really, really important that not only is your website something that you love, but that it's doing its job. So hello to those who are watching. Please share in the comments below who is here so that I know that I'm not just talking to the empty world out there, right? So here's the question for you today. Do you want more leads from your website or less leads from your website, right? So your website is the hub, if you will, of your online marketing presence. And we're not going to talk about how it's the hub today, but we are going to talk about the essential ingredients that a good client attracting website needs to have. And with all marketing, the number one job of your marketing is to generate leads and sales. And that's what I call the marketing proficiency effect, right? You've heard this before. Well, for many of us, our website is not only our biggest marketing asset, but it's our most expensive. It is the one we have invested thousands of dollars in. And if not that, we've invested a lot of time in our website. And I remember the very first time I created a website, or I had someone create a website. So years ago, I was starting out my business and I, asked everybody around who was a great web designer. And so, did my research, my due diligence, I thought. And so this gentleman came over to the house. He lived locally. And we talked about my website. And the first questions that he asked me about my website, he said, so, yes, I can create your website, but what do you want on it? And I sort of paused. And then he said, who is your website for? And I paused. And I really didn't know the answers to those questions. And so I had to go back and do some homework. So has that ever happened to any of you guys who are watching? Let me know in the comments below if that has happened to you, right? We know that our business needs this website, but we don't know exactly what it should contain. And so over the next week or so, we're going to talk all about websites. And today is the first in the series of 4 about website makeovers. And why would somebody like myself talk about websites? Well, here's the true reason. No, I am not a web designer, but I have worked with probably thousands of coaches, CEOs, and consultants, and I've looked at all their websites. And I have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. I have seen websites that people have spent tens of thousands of dollars on that didn't bring them one lead or one sale. And then I've seen those people who have done it themselves and are still in the same situation. And so I decided as part of marketing, I needed to study websites, and I needed to study not the back end of the website, because to me, that's the web designer, but the front end. How to help you create the words, the pictures, and the formatting so that you actually get clients. And that's what this is all about. I want you to have a client attracting website. How does that sound? High five for those of you who are listening. And if you are listening to the replay, it's #replay. So I'd love to hear some comments below if you wouldn't mind. So going to talk today, and I'm going to draw on my flip chart like I normally do. I'm going to draw about how effective is your website. So let me just get my fancy dancy marker, right? And we're going to draw here. And for many of you, you have seen me draw this triangle. And I've talked about the marketing proficiency effect. And I'm going to talk about the same thing today, but it's just how effective and how efficient is your website. So bear with me. Here we go. There are many people out there who have, maybe they're a new business owner and perhaps they've built their own website or perhaps they've had someone else build it, but they have a website that has no brand recognition and it's not generating any leads. So the effect is nil. So what does that look like? Maybe the website's got lots of text. Maybe the website's all about them. Maybe the website is talking all about their process or their modality. Those are things that don't work. They don't attract clients. Okay, so the impact of their website upon their business is nil. The second effect of the website could be roller coaster effect. And roller coaster effect is maybe somebody had a fair website to begin with. And maybe that was before, I'll say, COVID. But things have changed. And maybe they've forgotten about their website. And maybe their website isn't relevant to their ideal client, right? Probably rarely generates leads. Maybe it has, no, I'm guessing it's missing some of the core components. And we're going to talk about those tomorrow, the core components. But maybe it's missing something like a lead magnet. Maybe it's missing a really good call to action. Okay. Now, what has happened is that it rarely generates. So here we've got nil. It rarely generates leads, or maybe it's like this. It's up and down. Okay. The third effect of their website is flatline effect. And flatline effect simply means that, yeah, it probably was a pretty good website and maybe it had all the core components, but it's slowly generating leads. Like instead of going up like this, maybe it's just kind of flatlined. So we have 3 undesirable effects of your website. Now, I know there's some people watching here today, and I know I got no comments. So my question to you is, does this sound familiar? Which one of these do you fall into? Nil, roller coaster, or flatline? So give me some feedback so that I know that this might be resonating with you. Or maybe you're someone who doesn't even know if it's generating leads. So what are the comments below? I really, really appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to watch as those comments come in. And so we've talked about the 3 undesirable effects of a website. Let's talk about the desired effect of your website. And the desired effect of your website is that you want it to be predictably profitable. You want it, hey, Marlene, thank you. Awesome, good, all right. Somebody else there is a Facebook user, yep, nil, and I totally get it. That's okay. The first part of fixing a problem is knowing what the problem is, okay? All right, so what do we want our websites to do? We want our websites to be relevant. We want them to raise curiosity. We want them to easily generate consistent leads. We want our lead magnet to be something that people are clamoring over. And because that's going to grow our email list, and our email list is that group of people who we are going to sell to. Hey, Joanne. Good. Thank you for the comments. All right. So let's talk about 3 essential ingredients to shift from here up to here in terms of your website. Okay. And I'm going to call this the optimized website trifecta. Optimized website trifecta. Okay. And there's going to be 3 ingredients. You ready? All right. We're going to call these the core components. Core components. And I've identified 6 core components, and we're going to go dive into these next Tuesday. Okay, 6 core components. We're going to spend our whole time together just on those core components. So that'll be website makeover. Number 2 will be about core components. And that's things like your lead magnet. Okay, so what is your website made of? And over here, the second I'm going to talk about is what I call the story layout. And the story layout is how you are going to lay out a story, especially on your homepage, so that your dream client is curious and keeps on reading. Because think of stories, think of any movie, right? There's a good guy, there's a bad guy, there's a villain, right? There's things that make them upset, but you really know that they want to go down a certain path. Your website is a story, and it needs to raise curiosity. It needs to be empathetic, and it needs to create this flow, if you will, so that people don't click away. Okay? All right. And the third element that it needs is what I call your positioning lingo. Really? That means the words that you use so that your ideal client says, huh, that's me. I need this person. Okay? Whoops, there we are. Positioning lingo. So we have basically 3 of these core elements, right? And they need to work together. And so when you get them all together, so you got the core elements, components, you've got the positioning lingo, and you've got the story flow. That's the sweet spot. And when you've got that sweet spot, then you have a website that is going to be attractive to your ideal client, and that is going to, build your email list so that you have a group of ideal clients that you can sell to. So over the next few weeks, it is exactly what we are going to do. Next week, we're going to talk about this, core components. I forget which order, and then we're going to do this one, and then they're going to do this one. So at the end of 3-4 weeks, you're going to basically have a really great understanding of what a website on the outward facing needs to have, okay? Because you're going to leave the SEO, you're going to leave how it is all constructed, you're going to leave that to the web designer. But I will tell you a secret, that if you understand what I'm going to teach you in the next few weeks, you can actually go to a web designer and you will save yourself a ton of misery, a ton of expense, because you're going to know how to answer that web designer's questions. So who is this for? Who's your website for? And what are you going to put on your website? You're going to have all of that. If you want more, if you, after these couple of weeks, decide that, well, that's great, Diana, but I'd really like some feedback, I am hosting a marketing makeover boot camp. And I'll be telling you more about this in the Facebook group. I think it's February 25th. And what I will do in that boot camp is I will actually work with you to guide you to the right words that you need, or the story flow, or the whatever it happens to be. I will be there as your marketing bestie to make sure that we transform your website into something that actually is kind of like a silent salesman, and that works even while you're asleep. How does that sound? Awesome. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope you've gotten it clear in your mind, the three essential ingredients that any client attracting website needs. And keep watching, because I'm going to have some more juicy content for you in the next couple of weeks. Thanks so much. If this was valuable, please let me know in the comments below. And if you were watching this on replay, #replay. Thanks so much, guys. Bye for now.